Hey guys, it's Cody and I'm back here for the final video in my October Horror Fest series. I've really enjoyed doing this series and talking about all the films that I've watched throughout the month of October. First off, I just wanted to apologize. In my last video, if I sounded a little bit tired, I actually did not get a whole lot of sleep last night, and I filmed the first, the last video early in the morning. It was like 8 o'clock, I don't know what it was. I woke up about 3 o'clock in the morning, and then took me a little bit to fall back asleep, and I just periodically just kept waking up and going back to sleep. So if I sound a little bit tired in that last video, it's because I am tired. But anyway guys, in this video I'm just going to be talking about the last couple films that I watched a couple days ago, and then I'm going to watch all the movies that I'm watching tonight. So anyway guys, as you guys may know, I've been watching the Halloween franchise, all 8 original movies in reverse order, and at the beginning of Wednesday, I believe, Tuesday or Wednesday, I watched Halloween: The Curse of Michael Myers. Now, this is probably one of the most hated films in the franchise, but I've always enjoyed this one. I watched the theatrical version because I preferred over the producer's cut. I'm not a huge fan of the Thorne storyline as a whole, but I understand what they were trying to do. They were trying to come up with an idea of how Michael, he never died. So for that, I understand. I do understand why people don't like this movie, but this was one of the first Halloween films that I rented, and I've always enjoyed it. I don't know if I would say it's one of my favorites, but I do enjoy it, and I appreciate it for what it is. Alright, now, next one I want to talk about, this is actually one I watched last night. And this is one that I always rank as my least favorite of the original Halloween franchise, and that is Halloween 5: The Revenge of Michael Myers. Now, even though I'm not a massive fan of this movie, I do think it's underrated. Now, I do understand that there are things about it that people don't like. Even when I was watching it, I was just like, man, I hate that. There are some moments in it that I just don't like, but I do not hate this movie. I actually appreciate it a lot more now that I'm older, because I saw this back when I was pretty young, like 9, 10 years old, I think. And now that I'm older, I appreciate this movie for a lot more, and I just appreciate the entire film. And I do think this movie's got a lot of great moments in it. I don't think it deserves as much hate as it gets. I've even given it some hate in the past, but I don't think it deserves it as much. But like I said, just like Halloween 6, I do understand why people don't like it, and there are parts about this movie that I really don't like, but I still enjoy it nonetheless, and I do think that it's an underrated sequel in my opinion. Alright. Now I want to talk about the movie that I'm watching right now, and this is one film that I really wish would come out on Blu-ray, and that is The Midnight Hour. For those of you who have not seen this is an absolutely really fun, great zombie, it was a TV movie. It takes place on Halloween, and it's just an all-around fun movie about a group of zombies who take over this small town. There's a musical number. It's just an all-around fun movie, and I don't, as I've said in previous videos, I don't condone people watching movies that you can easily get on YouTube. Like, if a movie's available on YouTube, I don't condone watching it if you can go out and just buy it. However, The Midnight Hour, the VHS is rare and out of print, and the DVD is out of print, and it's pretty expensive. So, if you want to check the film out, it is on YouTube. But that's another reason why I wish someone would come out on Blu-ray. I can actually see Scream Factory releasing it on Blu-ray. I think that they would make a great release of it, because it's one film that a lot of people like. It's become a cult, well, not really a cult classic, but it's become its own classic in its own way. It's a shame that it's out of print on DVD and really expensive, but like I said, if you want to see it, you can watch it on YouTube. Alright, and now I'm gonna talk about the final 4 films that I'm watching today, and these are the first 4 Halloween films. So, after I'm done watching The Midnight Hour, which I'm in the mix of watching now, I'm going to pop in Halloween 4: The Return of Michael Myers. This has always been my favorite sequel in the series. I love this entire film. I think Michael Myers, he looks great in this one. I'm not a massive fan of the mask. I wish it looked more like the cover on the front of the actual movie. Because I love this artwork for the film. I said it in my Halloween and Michael Myers collection that I absolutely love the artwork for Halloween 4. I love the characters. Daniel Harris, great. Ellie Cornell, just definitely one of the best sequels in the series. Now up next, we got one film that people either enjoy it or they hate it. I always tell people to look at this movie as its own thing. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Now, like I said, this is definitely one movie you should look at by itself, but I also understand that even though people look at it as its own movie, people still hate it. And I'm not going to come over and say, well, you should like it, you should understand. No, if you don't like the movie at all, then don't like it. I just don't think that you should judge it because Michael Myers is not in it. If you knew what John Carpenter was trying to do with this movie, which I'm not going to get into, but if you knew what he was trying to do, I think people would appreciate it more. But again, if you just don't like the movie just because you just didn't like it, then, you know, you don't like the movie, that's fine. But I personally love this movie. For a lot of people, I hear it's their favorite in the Halloween series. I know that Christian Hannah Horror, he loves this movie. It's his favorite. And I do think that it's a great Halloween themed movie. And when I say Halloween themed, I'm not talking about the Halloween franchise with Michael. I'm talking about the holiday. You know, it's a story about this businessman who creates these Halloween masks that kill kids on Halloween night. Like, how messed up of a story is that? But it is a great, it's a great Halloween themed movie. I love the masks, especially the jack-o'-lantern. That's my favorite of the 3 masks. And it's just an all-around, it's a great movie in my opinion. Like I said, if you check that movie out, if you haven't seen it, if you've been avoiding it, then just try to appreciate it for what it is and see it as its own movie. But at the same time, I know people that have tried to do that and they still didn't like it. So, you know, it's definitely a love-hate film, I think. And now up next, this is definitely one of, if not the greatest, well, it's one of the greatest horror sequels of all time. But I think that out of all the sequels, this is probably the best one. It's not my favorite. Halloween 4 is my favorite sequel, but this is, I guess, the best well-made one in the series, I think. Halloween 2, like I said, one of the greatest sequels in horror. It was a great continuation of the original story. You know, you got Laurie inside the hospital. You got all the really creepy scenes of Michael just walking around the hospital and stuff. There's great creepy atmosphere in this one. And like I said, it's, I think, probably the best sequel in the series. This one, 3, 4, and I think H2O are probably the best overall sequels in the series. But I'm actually going to watch this right before I start Halloween, because the kids in my neighborhood, they start coming out at 4:30, 5 o'clock. So I plan on finishing off the midnight hour and then watching Halloween 4, 3, and 2. And then, after Halloween is over, I'd say about 8 o'clock, because my mom and her boyfriend are going to be staying until about 8, because they got to go to work tomorrow. I'd say that after they leave, then I'm going to be popping in, of course, the #1 movie you should watch on Halloween. Halloween. What more can I say about this movie that hasn't already been said? Just a classic. So anyway, guys, that is it. That is the 5th and final video in my October Horror Fest video series. I was going to do this as a part 2 to the last video, but I decided just to go ahead and say number 5 because I didn't want to end the series on just 4 videos and have 2 videos in 2 parts, because the last video I did was the last video in this series I did was also 2 parts. But anyway, guys, thanks everyone for watching. Let me know what you guys think about all the movies I talked about in both of these videos. And let me know what you're watching on Halloween. You got any films that you plan on watching today? Let me know, and let me know what are your plans for Halloween. Because like I said, my mom and her boyfriend are going to be coming over, handing out candy. I'm going to be dressed up in my Halloween. I got a zombie costume I'm going to be wearing. I'm going to dress up as that, and I'm going to stand outside in front of my yard and just stand there and not move and walk and have kids come up to me and they think I'm a mannequin or they think that I'm fake, and then once they get close enough, I'm going to get them. So yeah, it's going to be really fun October. Also, I will be posting, I'm going to be posting one video after like Halloween is almost over, because I'm going to do a video later on tonight where I show off the house, you know, all lit up and everything. And I'm also going to wish everybody a happy Halloween in that video, so I won't do it in this one. But I will say, if you guys want to see, my decorations in more detail and things like that, feel free to follow me on Facebook, because I will be posting I will be posting, photos, during the night. So, if you guys want to follow me better, always feel free to follow me on Facebook. Also, in the last video, I posted a link to a great, fun, family-friendly Halloween anthology film on YouTube called Halloween Spooky. So if you want to check that out, follow the link underneath the last video I did, number 4. Anyway, guys, thanks everybody for watching. Let me know what you guys think about all the movies I talked about, and let me know what are your Halloween plans. Anyway, guys, thanks everyone for watching, and happy Halloween.